Welcome back to the Coordinated Chaos podcast. I'm your host, Georgia, and I'm just your type B bestie going deep on all things behind the scenes of building a business, women's health, and life's defining moments. Episode 15: How to Set Goals That You Actually Achieve. In this episode, I'm going to be guiding you through a step-by-step process of how you can look at your life right now and identify some of the things that you may need to improve or change in order for you to change the trajectory of your life. As a personal trainer and online coach, I hear all the time about health and fitness goals, but I also hear a lot about lifestyle goals as well. And I'm a strong believer that the way that we show up for ourselves and look after ourselves physically bleeds into every area of our life. So I think that fitness truly is the gateway drug for living a life that you love and that you're proud of. And this is where this episode has been born from. I really truly believe that fitness will help you meet the best version of yourself and reach your own potential. This episode is intended to be interactive, so I really recommend grabbing a journal or a notebook so that you can slow down this episode, take notes, journal along the way, and really lean into the process. Or if you'd like, you can also go to the show notes and download the workbook that I've created to help guide you through every single question and more in order for you to be able to see how your life currently is, where you want to go, and set goals that actually get you the results that you want. So today we're going to examine, first of all, the different areas of your life that you're currently prioritizing. For me, for example, mine are health and fitness, career, finances, relationships, adventure, travel, and joy. That one's a bit of a combo one. And personal development and growth. As you can see, there's a lot of crossover here with values as well. So we'll definitely dive into like identifying some of our values also so that we can really make sure that everything is aligned and it feels really, really good. And that's, again, something we'll talk about a little bit later. In terms of my examples, I know there's going to be a couple that I've missed that you might not resonate with all of the things. So it's really important that you take the time to figure out what your top priorities are. Just look at where your life is currently and really examine what areas of my life do I concentrate on? What do I focus on on a daily basis? Because this is going to really help guide us and continue that trajectory to making the best life possible for ourselves. So I want you to think about as well the strengths and the weaknesses and the opportunities that we can learn from our last 12 months. So as we're going through this first part, I want you to apply that to what you've been doing over the last year. A little preface here as well. The best way for you to get the most out of this episode from here on in is to go all in on being honest with yourself, no matter how much it plays with your ego. So I want you to trust that by getting outside of your comfort zone a little bit, this is where the magic happens. This is what's going to propel you forward to a place where the reward far outweighs the risk. We'll start with some questions and we'll talk about each of them as we go through, but you might want to pause, slow down, whatever you need to do. Or if you are listening to this on a walk or doing your exercise, you may need to come back to this at a later date in order for you to get the most out of it. The first question is, what are your top 5 values that you live by? So again, looking at the last 12 months, what have you prioritized? What areas of your life have you felt like you have put more energy into and what's lacking as well? For me, my top 5 values that I live by, and this can change over the course of your life as well. Like, you don't have to have this set in stone forever. Mine are growth and personal development, always wanting to better myself and just become a better person. Adventure and joy. I just love travel. I love new experiences. I love going to a new cafe. I love going on a hike and seeing a new place. All of these things really light me up and make me feel like my cup is filled. My health. I value my health highly. Not just my fitness, but also overall holistic health. So, really making sure that I'm looking after my health for long term. Another one is security and safety. So, I think this one for me really ties into finances and maybe success in my business. And it's definitely something that I'm learning to develop over time because it's been such like an edge for me, I guess, and just like learning to be more comfortable with where I'm currently at and using the resources that I currently have to support me and not be too flippant with my spending or, buying things that I really, really want and not necessarily just need. Because the long term security and safety that I really, truly desire is on the other side of being smarter with finances. And the last one I would say is probably a newer one, and it's integrity and embodiment, which just basically means that I really hope to be someone who displays the qualities that I speak about all the time and the things that I teach, that I am actually doing those things. I hope that people would see me and think she is someone who does what she says. And I do look after my health. I do watch my finances. I do value my adventure and travel and joy and actually implement those things, not just hustle and grind all the time. So I think that sums up my 5, but those could just be a couple of different ideas. If you really struggle with this one too, there are lots of resources online where you can go and have a look at like a bigger list of all the values that you potentially resonate with and use that as your basis. The second question I want you to think about is to list your top 5 areas of life that you prioritize. So I've already kind of touched on the ones that I like to think about, but this is your opportunity to look and see what have you been prioritizing and where has that got you. Next up, I'd like you to identify what are your strengths and your weaknesses. This might be something like you are really strong at organization, but you're not that strong with getting your workouts done. What is the difference between your life now and the one that you want to live? This is where I want you to identify the opportunities or the gaps in your current life and really weigh up how important the things are that are missing and how can you implement those things into your life. Next question. Are your actions in tune with the best version of yourself? Are there little habits and things that you do or behaviors that may actually not be aligned with the person that you say you want to be? This is about, again, finding those gaps, finding those maybe weaknesses and opportunities where you can really be honest with yourself and identify that you could be doing better at certain things. This one might not hit for everyone, but I'd like you to ask yourself, are you making choices for yourself or are they for others? And finally, in each of your 5 areas of life that you've already listed above, I'd like you to identify which aspects that you could improve on. So there's a lot of that identifying questions there that really help you understand what it is that you feel like you're missing and maybe how you can implement things straight away that could move you closer to your end goal or that end version of yourself that you'd like to become. In my opinion, there are two very simple and effective ways that you can create more space and clarity in your mind on a daily basis. And for me, these two things are so easily neglected. And I think that they're something that are almost like too good to be true if we were to implement them into our lives daily. And they are journaling and meditation. I've been on a little bit of a journey recently to try and meditate as much as I can. I would love that to be daily, but I am definitely getting a lot more regular with it, which is great. And just using sort of stacking habits a little bit to meditate more when I have something else that I'm doing that's like relaxing. So, for example, having an infrared sauna, reading my book for 10 minutes, and then doing a 10-minute meditation. Or if I'm feeling like anxious or a little bit of tension built up, actually taking the time to go to my room, close down my eyes, and put a guided meditation on, or maybe it's just breathing for a little bit of time, put a timer on and just cap it at like 10 minutes again. So I am happy that I've been able to implement that a little bit more recently. But today we're going to be focusing more on the journaling side. So we're going to start there. And I really think like this is something that a lot of you are probably sitting there going, yeah, I know, I need to do it more. Or, yeah, I've done it in the past and it really has helped. So I want that to be your reminder that this could truly be something that you could reintroduce back into your life or start doing. And just trial and error, like see how it works for you. I understand that it's not for everyone, but what I do truly believe as well is that we often don't prioritize things like this because we don't have time. But in actual fact, it's going to give you that clarity of mind that is going to help you excel in a lot of different areas of your life. Journaling is the perfect way to get out of the mess and the clutter of your mind and help you make sense of what you can't clearly process in your mind alone. It's like getting those subconscious thoughts out onto paper and really helping you move through them if you need to, or bring ideas to life. In the workbook, in the show notes, there are more questions, but I'm just going to leave you here with 3 today that you can start with. In what ways are you proud of yourself? Right now, in this moment, at this current time of your life, what are the things that you're super proud of? What are you currently grateful for? And if you could have or do anything right now, what would it be? Now, the reason I've started with the pride and the grateful questions is because this is a really amazing way to shift your frequency. And yes, this is a little bit woo-woo, but we're going there because that is definitely on brand for me. But I just feel like a lot of the time we get so stuck in these negative thought processes. We're really focusing on what we don't have. We're really focusing on the scarcity of what we wish we had more of. But if we can shift that focus onto what we're proud of, what we're grateful for, and all of the abundance that we already have, this is such an amazing way to just really like, it almost like for me, it releases like a level of tension and puts me in a better mood instantly. And I think it's really important that we do these things before we start to envision our future and think about the things that we really want, because those negative limiting beliefs will get in the way unless you're in a better headspace. So now that we've done our little bit of journaling, we've asked ourselves the questions about our values and what our priorities are, we can now move into goals. If you've ever learned about goals before, you will definitely be familiar with the SMART goals framework. However, I've actually developed my own personal framework for goals, which I'll share with you today. It is the GOALS framework. I'm going to run through them now. The first one, G, goal. What is the goal? Why do you want to achieve the goal? Let's unpack this further, really to understand what it actually is, because we need to have a very clear purpose. O is for outlook. What is your outlook towards this goal? Does it feel achievable? Are you excited by the goal? Are you truly ready to achieve it? I really do believe that a lot of the time we can have this like big idea that we want to achieve something, but in reality, sometimes the bigness of it does become overwhelming and we're actually not in the right headspace. And similar to the conversation about limiting beliefs and that negative thought process, we may not actually be truly ready to achieve the goal. So you need to be excited about it. You need to feel like, yes, this is something I can do and feel really positive about it. So examine your current outlook towards the goal and see if it is truly feasible in this current phase of your life and if it's achievable. A is for action plan. In what ways will you take steps, change habits, and move towards achieving this goal? This one is so important to back your goals up because you need certain steps to achieve the goal. It's pretty simple, but I think it's one of the most important things is having a plan and reverse engineering your goals to make sure that you actually are able to achieve it. L is for length. What is the length of time needed to achieve this goal, and is it appropriate for the size of the goal? Let's say, for example, my goal was to lose 20 kilos by the end of the year. We're currently just about to hit August. So we have August, September, October, November, and December, 5 months. Is it truly achievable to lose 20 kilos by the end of this year? You would have to lose just under a kilo a week, essentially, to get there by the end of the year. And whilst it's possible, it will be hard. So it's just really important to look at, am I giving myself a realistic time frame to achieve this? Am I in the right headspace? Am I truly ready to achieve it? It links back to the outlook, right? So making sure that you are setting appropriately sized goals in an appropriately sized time frame. S is for speed. At what speed are you going to attack this goal and make the necessary moves that you need to make to get you where you want to go? I think speed is an underrated aspect of goal setting because I think it just means like intensity and tenacity and drive and ambition. Are you going to truly lock in? And we know that locking in is a very like trendy thing right now. But are you truly able to lock in and hit this goal with the speed that it actually needs? I personally like to focus on monthly goals because I feel like it helps to keep the momentum going. So right now, I would love for you to write down 3 goals for the next month. And for each of these goals, I'd like you to follow these steps. Write the goal. What is it? Why do you want to achieve this? And list 3 actionable steps that will actually help you achieve it. These have got to be non-negotiable steps that you can do easily in order to achieve the thing. Now, rinse and repeat for each goal month to month. Make it fun. Make it a date for yourself. Write down what you want to achieve each month at the end or the start of each month, post it up somewhere where you can see it all the time, maybe even be able to tick it off. I have a whiteboard in my room that has my 2026 goals, and then I have another space on another whiteboard that has monthly goals. So when I do feel like I'm maybe lacking a bit of that drive and ambition, and I'm finding that I'm like losing my way with achieving my goals, I break them down and put them into a monthly goal so that they're easier, more bite-sized, lower hanging fruit, and I actually get so much satisfaction out of achieving those monthly goals, and it creates that momentum for me. It builds self-trust that I can do the thing that I say I'm going to do and do it month on month. Because when we're starting out and we've got this huge goal, like I said before, it can be overwhelming. It can be like quite daunting, really. And I think by breaking that down into smaller bite-sized pieces, you're going to build that momentum and build that self-trust with yourself by ticking off thing month on month. To wrap up this episode, I just want to leave this with you. My wish is for you to realize that your potential and your power to start and take action on something is within your control. If you want something, do everything in your power to make it happen. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from today, make it that you're only as capable as you think you are. So start thinking that you're capable. Start thinking better. And I'm here to tell you that your potential is limitless. So go out there and meet the best version of yourself and create the life that you desire. Life happens on the other side of your comfort zone. Until next episode, thank you so much for joining us. And if you've enjoyed this one, please leave a comment, subscribe, like, do all the things on YouTube and Spotify, and we will see you on the next episode.